Yo, it is Monsieur Mosan here, and today I'm doing an oil change on an F10 535. Yes, there's a Jackson underneath it. So, yeah, pretty simple procedure. But I wanted to go over a trick that I have for if you don't have a removal tool for the oil filter housing. So what I do, I take an older M60, M50, M30, not M30, yeah, M32. Big ass hose clamp basically, and I tighten it up around that, and then basically keep the screwdriver there, take a hammer, and go. Couple good taps that way, and we started there and got that over to there. It's pretty well loose, but I'm going to bring it back one more time, give it a few more taps, and then be right off. Also, do not put your drain plug back in until you've pulled out this, because once you do this, that's going to allow the rest of that to drain out. Now it's got somewhere to pull the air from, so it'll get most of the oil out if you pull this out either before you drain it or while you're draining it. Now this customer actually preferred that I get a Wix filter. Hasn't had any issues using Wix filter before. It's going to be for the F10 535 N54 N55 motor. It's going to be the 57 327, which comes with another ring, the O-ring, and it's got the copper gasket, and not copper gasket, but the copper washer in there for the drain plug as well. So don't reuse your old ones; they come with new ones. Then here, there's two ways to do this. Don't get it wrong. Watch this. And it's not even really that you can get it wrong, but because it's pretty universal on both sides. But I always put it back the way I got it. So here you can see the part numbers on there, and that came from the top. So you take this, not it, that's it, and then slap it right back down on top of there. Clicks on there, and then you take flathead or whatever and take out this O-ring that's right there and replace that with a new one. So my preferred way to do this is literally just to take that, kind of work it in there, and then kind of like a tire machine, do that, off it goes. Use from here, grab your new one, like that, put that right back on there, kind of like a tire machine. This time just feel free to do all of that. And before I forget, there's also an O-ring that's right there on the top of that you want to, again, just like the bigger one, get off. And there we go. It gets that O-ring off, and then slide the new one on there. And the same thing with the bigger one. You just put some oil on it, make sure it's nice and lubricated. The last step before you go ahead and stick this back in there, dip you some oil on there just to lubricate it so it doesn't get kinked or caught, whatever word you want to use. Helps it go in there a little bit smoother. And from there, put it back on there. And you really don't have to have it super tight. I mean, it even says on the lid that you don't need more than 25 newton meters, which is not a lot at all. But just get it on there, make sure it's sealed, which I'm going to do here in just a moment. And so to tighten this, I'm going to do it the exact same way that I got it off. I'm just going to take a clamp here, stick it on there. And all this shit's still hot, so pardon me if it takes me a second. But just loosen up the clamp, get it to where it's facing forward, so you see how the screwdriver is coming toward me. It gives me lots of room to hit it. Get it nice and tight so it won't move on you. And then you grab your hammer and get the screwdriver in there. And so you can do it two ways. You can keep this extra tight, keep going, because I can tell it didn't quite go as far as I wanted to. Another thing that you can do to help you get it back to where it was is pay attention to where all of this was aligned at. So the text is up there and your arrow's there. So I'm just going to put it back to about where it was when I started. Or to the clamp stop moving, which is about there. So yeah, that's that. And from there, great, is go back underneath there and tighten up your drain plug. Before you do that, obviously put the new copper washer on there and then tighten that back up. Doesn't need to be over tightened. There's so many things that can go wrong if you over tighten it, so don't do that. And then from there, just refill it. Now, gotta put more oil in it. Don't start without it. BMW recommends Castrol as it says there and everywhere else, but of course they change their mind every 10 years for whatever reason. So we got Castrol 5W30 for this engine, and literally just pop that off, pop this off, and put your hole in it just to pour it out neatly. And you get your funnel, and like so. And simply put that in there. Alright. There's that. Let that do its thing for a second. Drain out, whatever. And move that over there. Keep the mess down. And there, click shut, we're good. There. Comes down. Wipe off the mess over there. Wipe this whole thing off just because I like my shit to look neat. Great. There's that. Now all you gotta do is lower the car back down and reset this code, or not the code, but the oil service indicator. I'll show you how to do that. So now we are in the great indoors of the F10 535, and we're gonna need to do the oil reset. So basically, hit your start button once. Now start the car, don't have your foot on the brake or anything like that. Shout out to Prince, but let's not get this video taken down. Anyway, come in here, and you're gonna hold this button right there. And it's going to take you into this little menu. There we go. Now that we've got that, vehicle check, you can cycle through this, rear brake pads, engine oil, and reset possible. You can just kind of cycle through this menu by pushing it like that. So once you find what you're going to reset, which here again, engine oil, you're going to press and hold that. And it's going to say reset, and then you're going to press and hold it again. And you see there, it just kind of sets itself up for success. Resets it, you're successful, and you're good to go. So, that folks is how you do an oil change in an F10 535. So, if you enjoyed that, if you found that useful, you should do me a solid and like this video and subscribe to it. Leave comments if you have questions. Want to just check in, whatever. Yeah, hope it's been useful to you.